Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day wherever you are around the world. And yes, as you can see, this is a match preview show, and it is the start of the new Premier League season. It does feel like 7 days since we've had some Premier League competitive football, at least. But indeed, it's been 7 weeks, which time has just completely flown. But as you can see, I am joined by a very, very, very special guest, and that is Carl Levy from the Sam Radio Football Show. Carl, how are you doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you very much. Even though I am talking to you while I am in between going from a night shift to another night shift tonight, but no, I'm all good. I'm all good in the ears, so yeah.
Absolute pleasure, and thank you so much for coming on. I know that you were on a night shift last night. Of course, Carl is a Leeds United fan. Of course, Liverpool play Leeds tomorrow in Leeds' first Premier League game in, I believe, 17 years. Is it?
16, 17 years, yeah.
That's just mental for a massive even I'm a very young age, but I can still remember Leeds playing or hearing of Leeds playing in the Champions League semi-finals and things like this. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Late memories. I remember watching those games when I was still 8 years old, when I was still at school and I was still up till 10 o'clock watching the Leeds night games in those nights. And I remember those nights quite well, actually. And that semi-final, we went to Valencia. So, yeah, things have changed a lot since then, to be quite honest with you. But we're thrilled to be back in the Premier League after 16 years of hurt and the way. It was a fall of Leeds, and now the rise is back up again, which I'm very glad to see that a one club city is back in the Premier League, which was needed hugely.
That is very, very true. And it's also another fantastic thing that there's another club up in the Premier League that despises Manchester United as much as we do.
Yeah, I know.
It's an appreciated thing.
Hey, I know. Listen, one of my family members, my uncle, he's a Manchester United fan, unfortunately, so he'll probably get the brunt of it. So yeah.
Oh, don't worry. In my family, my uncle-in-law, he is a huge Manchester United fan, and every time they muck up, I always lay it into him, especially because Liverpool now are Premier League champions. That knife is slowly going in as much as possible.
Yeah, but I want to say huge congratulations to you actually for Liverpool winning the title. I know it's been a long time coming, and it was like 2 years before I was born when Liverpool was the last champions. My mum was just moved back to the UK from Jamaica, so things have been so different. But no, a huge congratulations. I think Liverpool deserve it. The way they played the last season, really, really, really good. And just blitzed the way to the Premier League. They really did.
Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, I was 9 years not thought of when Liverpool last won the league. I was born in '99. Liverpool won the league in '90, and 30 years for a club such as Liverpool not to win the top tier of
Yeah.
game. It's mental. But yeah, guys, if you could as well, please go in the video description down below. Please go and follow Carl on Twitter. It's at will be on screen anyway, so please go and hit him up on all the social medias. They will be in the video description down below. But let's dive in then to the actual preview. And Carl, I know that we just talked about Leeds back into the Premier League. Of course, Bielsa's done a fantastic job with you guys in getting promoted. And I believe you said this on Doug's live stream. Of course, guys, Carl did do a live stream with Doug, and no one expects Leeds to get relegated. And for me, I'm like that. I personally think they could do something really special, similar to Sheffield United, in maybe mid-table or maybe a bit more, depending on what does happen throughout the season. But is that the same in your eyes? Do you think that Bielsa can take the Premier League by storm in his first season in charge?
I think he will, absolutely. The good news is a couple of minutes ago, he's announced that he will be there for this season. Hopefully his contract extension will be announced by the club in the next coming hours and days. But no, he will take the Premier League by storm. I think this is what we needed for quite a long time in the Premier League. And so when Klopp came in, he's changed the Premier League along with Grant with Pep, and Poch at the time. I think it's good now that having someone like Bielsa is different, really different to anything else. combined. So with his high pressing as well. So it's good to see him being in the Premier League and the way he's coached teams in the past with Chile and Argentina, as well as how he did what at Athletic Bilbao as well. I think this is a good opportunity for him to take the Premier League by storm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, of course, not last season, the season before, of course, getting so close to get into the Premier League after, and Leeds, I'll be perfectly honest, I haven't watched, Championship football, mainly, I'll look at it and I'll watch a couple of games, but like over the years, I haven't like particularly been, watching the Championship altogether because, of course, Liverpool have been, doing what they're doing and things like this, but like, Leeds have always been on that tip of the iceberg. They've always been there or thereabouts for the last, I think, 5-6 years. But now eventually you've done it now. And I think Bielsa now deserves a lot of credit for that because, the disappointment of, missing out through the playoffs. I think it was against Leeds, against Derby, wasn't it? Against Frank Lampard's Derby, which I know there was a lot of hate with Derby and Leeds for that.
Yeah.
But I know that, of course, you've made crucial signings this year in Rodrigo, for example, a very, very good signing, in my personal opinion. What do you think you could expect from him? Do you think you can get, a 15, 20 goal striker, or do you think, he's going to take time, but he will blossom throughout the Premier League season?
I think he will take time and blossom. I think we've got other players that can play a part at scoring goals. I think Rodrigo will be probably a 15 to 20 goal season, but yeah, we'll see about that one. So yeah, but who knows? So yeah, that's for good in the background. I don't pick up anyway, but hey, why have a whole phone anyway in the household? You don't use it as much when we use mobile phones these days. So
I always laugh, like this is going to go in the video either way because that was pretty funny. I always laugh when like companies like that, they always, try and sell you on the extra bit. And I'm like, no, we don't want that. It's like,
no, it's mainly cold calls I get. So that I just know, but most taught me well with that one. So yeah.
But saying that, I mean, we talk about, that's kind of like a business thing. And I know that, in terms of like transfers, I know that, of course we said about Rodrigo, I know that other people like Ben White, for example, was majorly talked about for you and us. To be fair, I know he was on the lips of pretty much, I'd say the majority of major, football in the Premier League, at least anyway. But, I want to talk, I think I made the joke in Doug's stream, would you like to buy Harry Wilson off us for 20 million quid? I know at the minute there's the rumours with, Wilson, for example, and Ryan Brewster as well. Is there any particular player from the Liverpool squad you'd like to purchase for Leeds to maybe strengthen?
I think with those two names that you said, they could be a very huge for us, especially with that midfield that we need an attacking role. It's a tough one who to take, actually, because last year we were linked with Ryan Kent before he went to Rangers. And then we were linked with him again, but he's not going to go nowhere. I think now I'd probably take Harry Wilson over Ryan Brewster. Ryan Brewster is not played in Premier League as much, even though he played well in the Championship and we played against him last season, so we know his qualities. But I think Harry Wilson is more got the qualities there, but more than that Ryan Brewster to grab the shoot. I would take Wilson over Brewster for the time being, for now, see where it goes. So yeah.
Yeah, I personally would love that. I love how young and how good Ryan Brewster is at the minute for Liverpool, and last year him making that move, and realistically he sacrificed himself getting the Premier League's winners medal, particularly in that aspect, because you're going to give the likes of Nico Williams and Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott some game time and things like that. So practically went out to go and play football, and that is what I think. Of course, what's happened recently in the England camp concerning a certain Manchester players, with what they did, and that I think that's a real maturity in that aspect of things, because he wants to play football, he wants to achieve things. But for me, I think that Brewster, in that aspect of things, for me isn't for sale in any ways. I know that the Guardian and things like this, they practically say, and I think the Athletic as well are also saying that Brewster could be sold this summer, and I'm like, I think he could be used a lot more for Liverpool's aspect of things. But yeah, I think that Harry Wilson, I think he is on the way out to Liverpool, me personally. And to be fair, I think I'd like him to go to Leeds because, I think Bielsa, I think he's very similar to Klopp and
Yes.
Guardiola in the fact that, he can help progress a player. I remember, I think is it Pablo Hernandez that plays for you?
Yeah.
Him, I always remember him playing for Swansea in the Premier League. Didn't think too much of him. Watched him, 1 year under Bielsa, in the Championship. And I know it's a different league, but you can tell with the player that there's different. For you, is it similar like that with Bielsa? Do you see, signs of Klopp and Guardiola in his style?
Yeah, I do very much so. I know Pep is a huge fan of Bielsa, very much. And I know he got where his taxes from him when how he's become a successful manager, after winning the six titles trophies at Barcelona. So I think this is probably, you see the similarities there, to quite honest with you. You do. You don't be surprised as well, because even Poch talked about him so much when Poch was signing for Bielsa for New Old Boys at the time. I remember Bielsa went to his house and he was sleeping in his bed and he was checking to see how his legs, with the stature of his legs, would he grow into a player, and say, yeah, it's okay, it's good, and so forth. So no, but there's similarities. There's huge similarities. There's no huge differences. There's quite similarities completely. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that, of course, the Premier League football is back. It's probably going to be a very hard start for Leeds. I think you've got a very tough start. I haven't really looked at the fixtures. I've looked at it.
We do. We got the first three games against you. Home game gets Fulham, and then on the 26th against Sheffield United. So yeah,
very, very tough games. And I look at our fixtures now, and we got Leeds, of course, you guys, Chelsea, and Arsenal. Which, to be awfully honest, I think you're the hardest game. If I'm being perfectly honest.
Really,
I think so, because it's kind of unexpected how you guys are going to be. It was like Norwich last season, of course, playing them. Of course, it's champion versus champion again for us because, we were European champions last year playing championship champions, and now we're Premier League champions playing championship champions again. So, but I was fully, unexpected of Norwich's performance last season, the attacking style, and let's be honest, we beat Norwich 4-1 and it was a comfortable 4-1 in the end. But they played very, very well. We were lucky in some aspect of things. So, I think that Liverpool, they need to stay focused in this game because, of course, Leeds can be like Norwich last year and be that unexpected force, realistically. And, I think that many people, of course, we know them being championship champions. But, again, how are Leeds going to, take this game by the storm, realistically? Are you going to go defensive and counter-attack, or are you going to bring the game to us? I think that's realistically the thing.
Yeah, I think we will bring the game. We're not going to change from what we've done the last two seasons on the Bielsa to ground view. I think we will go with the game as we usually does. And Bielsa's always been good. He's been a stickler for when he always scouts the teams. He's very thorough, very carefully. Like I said, in his little flat in Rotherby, he'll be watching every single Liverpool game of how you lot play and how you play without the ball and with the ball. And that's how good he is. And the players buy into that. They buy into the philosophy of watching games like they do in American football with all the defense and the offense players. They will be like looking at the training, looking at the opposition teams, how they with all their route plays and all that stuff and all that figure G. But yeah, you're right. Bielsa's not going to take this line down. I think we'll go for the game. We're not going to be playing defensive. That's not Bielsa's style. We all know that. He will go out and attack and get the ball off the opposition and actually counter them quite well. So I will have no problems with that. I don't think that will be an issue coming the game on Saturday, to be honest with you. So yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, I thought I saw a strange man at Melwood the other week with a moustache on. But yeah, of course, if you guys know what we're talking about, then you know. But yeah, of course, we talked about transfers and things like this. But us, I know that at the minute the whole rumours with Thiago Alcantara and other bits and pieces as well. And I know that people on this channel are a bit frustrated at the minute. And I wouldn't say so much this channel. I'd say, Liverpool fans in general are a bit frustrated. And, I've talked about plenty of times of why people shouldn't be frustrated. We're in such an unprecedented time. You know, we don't know what's going to happen. You know, at the minute, we could be talking about football now. In the next 2 months, football could be stopped again. So, you know, it's so, you know, unforeseen what can happen realistically. But, Carl, I'll ask you this. What is the team that you think Bielsa will put out against Liverpool on Saturday?
So Ian Melso will start and go. I think he's been tremendous. I think Kika Casillas' time is been over ever since the racist abuse scandal against Jonathan Lecker at Charlotte last season. I think it's that goal. Liam Cooper and Berardi will play in the centre backs. I think Koch will be on the bench. I think Alowski will play on the left wing back and Stuart Dallas on the right wing back, which has always been Luke Ayling. Sorry, I will put Luke Ayling, and I totally forgot about that because Luke Ayling's been trained as well. So we have diversity, but I think Luke Ayling will start as a right back actually. Calvin Phillips in that defensive midfield as usual where he plays. He's always been quality that he is, and then I think in that midfield, I think Costa will play, and I think Kilic will play as well with either with Forshaw. So that's more likely to be that partnership there because Forshaw's not back from his injury. You know, after he had his injury run the last season mostly. And on the left, I think it might be Jack. I think it might be Jack Harrison. I think Hernandez will start on the bench, but yeah, I probably put Jack Harrison on the left there to be honest with you. You know, especially what his versatility as well. And up front, even though people expect Rodrigo to play, but I think Bamford will play because Rodrigo's just come from club. He just come from the international break, you know, during playing for Spain. So I think, yeah, Bamford will play. I know people question about Bamford, about can he score goals? Apparently, yes, he did in Championship, but he can. But the thing is, we don't look at goals. We look at how he supports the players around him when they hold the ball. That's what we look at. So I think Bamford will start that game on Saturday, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that, well, it sounds a very, very strong team from where I'm standing anyway. But, like, I know that, you know, you talk about Bamford then being, you know, that player that links between midfield and attack. And I think that is, you know, similar to what Bobby Firmino does in that aspect of things, you know, being such a... And I hate it when people... especially last season as well with us, you know, hating on Bobby Firmino for not scoring, you know, 20 plus goals and things like this. And it was like, if you watch games when we didn't have Bobby Firmino in the side, you could tell we missed Bobby Firmino. And it wasn't like if like, oh, we're missing the goals or anything like that. We're missing the link up play. And that is realistically Bobby Firmino's best position. Now, potentially, if we keep hold of Brewster and we get Thiago Alcantara, then maybe, you know, Klopp may change system. You know, he may go 4-2-3-1 instead of a 4-3-3. But for now, I think Jurgen will stick for a 4-3-3 until he knows realistically what his team is going to be. But for me, I think it's going to be Alisson Becker in goal. You know, Ali's fantastic. PFA Young Player of the Year in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Of course, congratulations to Trent on getting the PFA Young Player of the Year. I think then it's going to be Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson then at left back. Of course, Kostas Tsimikas will miss this game due to him, I believe, being tested positive for COVID-19. So, you know, hopefully get well soon. Kostas as well. Midfield then, I think it'll be Fabinho in the defensive midfield. I think this game comes sadly too short for Jordan Henderson. Injury aspect of things. He is in full training. He's been training, I believe, since last Monday. So, you know, that's good news in that aspect of things. But I just think this game is a bit too soon for Jordan Henderson. So for me, midfield is Naby Keita for sure. I think, you know, he's been our shining light through pre-season. And then the other midfield spot, for me, is a huge debate because, of course, you know, Curtis Jones has been, you know, superb for us as well and been really a shining light yet again in pre-season. But one man I know, well, the Leeds fans know very, very well, and that is Mr. James Milner, of course. Who am I going to go for? I'm going to go for James Milner just because I think if you put Curtis Jones in there, it's going to be a bit more attacking.
Yeah.
Leeds could fully, you know, utilize that, in my personal opinion. And then, of course, front three then, Mo Salah, Bobby Firmino, Sadio Mane, best front three in world football, in my personal opinion. probably a bit biased there, but
Well,
Carl,
you have to be biased sometimes, so yeah.
Carl, me saying that team, who's the player for Liverpool then you think is the, and I know there might be, a huge, there might be one or two, but, who's the main name in that, team that fears you realistically?
It's a good question with that one, actually. It really is a good question. Quite tough. I don't think none of the players will fear us. That's the thing, actually. I don't think you can. I can't even name one Liverpool player, actually. It'd be virtually impossible with that one. I think they'll be excited to play against us. I think they'll have no fear against us as well because they know what they're going to go into. I don't think they'll be no fear. I really don't. So.
Okay. Like I just imagine now Mo Salah just like just running down that wing and just fingers crossed scoring a goal. Of course, Mo has scored in every single opening game for Liverpool. So fingers crossed he can do it again on Saturday. But I didn't really know this stat until Doug said it. But Leeds, and I did double check on it. Leeds haven't lost an opening day in the Premier League.
Correct. Absolute correct. We've not lost an open day in the Premier League since, none at all. So our record's very good.
And Jurgen Klopp's never lost an opening game neither. So at Liverpool, so something has to break.
It does.
I wonder which it'll be.
It certainly has to break. I think Lee's last game when the open game we played against you was in the late 90s. So I think we beat you 2-1 at the time. I think I remember virtually. I think it was 98, 99, I think. So, yeah, it's been, but something has to break. Liverpool's got a very good home record. I'm not going to surprise you. You made Anfield as like my United did as the theatre dreams. You made it as into a fortress, and that's one of the best things about it. I think Leeds will, like I said, come out and play. They're not going to be sitting back and everything, especially not with that team. That team really worked its tails off to get where we are. Especially, we were close to losing one or two players last season, but luckily we got promoted. Kiwi Calvert-Phillips was very vital to that squad and signing a new contract as well. So, yeah, and now he's in the English squad. So, something's got to give. Something's got to give. You're right.
Yeah, something does have to give, but fingers crossed that is Leeds, in my personal opinion. But of course, guys, please let us know your starting 11 predictions in the comment section down below, and also as well let us know your score prediction. But Carl, I'll ask you this: what is your score prediction for Saturday?
Well, do you know what? In my head, we would know if we can get a draw, that would be huge. But in my heart, if Liverpool don't capitalise in the first 15 minutes. So I think we'll take the game, and I hate to say this to you, even I'm on your channel. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Leeds win, actually, because I'm very optimistic, because I think, we can get one more job, but if we can get a win, that will be a huge start kick, because, if we still have unbeaten opening day start wins. So, yeah.
Very, very interesting. And of course, I wouldn't want nothing else. Of course, Leeds fan, of course you want to win. But sadly, in my opinion, that's not going to be the case.
I know.
No, I think that I agree in the sense that I think Leeds are going to come at us, with everything they have. They have to, realistically. You're playing the Premier League champions. If you beat us, it's going to cause headlines no matter what. So, in my personal opinion, though, I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for Liverpool. I think you are going to score. I think you are. But I do think Liverpool are going to be, keeping that Anfield record, alive at least for a while longer. Of course, fingers crossed we can actually keep that record for the season, because then I believe we equal Chelsea then on 4 years unbeaten at home, because I think they have the longest Premier League run. I think it was from 2004 to 2008, because I believe Liverpool beat that record.
Yeah.
When we won 1-0, I think it was a dodgy Xabi Alonso goal. I think
it was. I remember it. But quite well. And I was really surprised that one ended actually, because I didn't think Chelsea would go that long. But interesting how Liverpool can last this one long for that one if they can beat that record. So
exactly, and of course Liverpool having the least amount of losses in the last, I believe, 3 years. I think we've got about 3 or 4 less losses than Man City. So that's just crazy in its sense, and just shows realistically what Jurgen Klopp's been able to do with this Liverpool squad. But goal scorers, I'm going to go with Mo Salah to get a goal. I'm going to go Virgil van Dijk, and I'm also going to go Sadio Mane as well, to get in the goals for us for sure. But, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. A massive thank you to Carl, of course, work, doing from night shift to night shift. And thankfully, and I do very much appreciate it doing this with me today. Carl, where can we find you, mate, on the social medias?
You can find me on Twitter at CarlLive92. You can find our football show at Sam Radio TFS on Twitter, as well as on Anchor. You can find us at Sam Radio Football Show as well as we're on Google Podcast, as well as Apple Podcasts and other podcast services. But you can find us live on Sam Radio on TuneIn every Wednesday at 3 p.m. and we repeat on Saturdays at 3 p.m. also as well. But in the future, we are looking at going back into live mode in the next couple of weeks, and we might be moving the show on to Friday on the start of a weekend. So we'll be back on hopefully sooner than we expect to. We'll see you then. So yeah.
So yeah, definitely, guys, please go and check that out. It is in the video description down below. Anyway, I've been a guest on the Sam Radio Football Show, and I've really much enjoyed it when I went on there a couple of weeks ago. So, guys, please go and check them out. It is in the video description down below. But until next time, guys, that is going to be it from us. If you could, please smash a like on this video. It's massively appreciated if you could do so, because it lets me know you like match preview shows and things like this. And also as well, if you're new to the Cop Council, then please hit that subscribe button and don't forget to enable notifications, because YouTube don't like notifications. So please hit the notification bell. But until next time, guys, that is going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council, and fingers crossed Liverpool can start on a winning front. Try it.